Hi everyone, my name is Julia Lachey Israel and I am the head of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for KWX, and I'm here to share with you the history of Juneteenth. Juneteenth is an annual holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the United States and has been celebrated by Black Americans since the late 1800s. But in recent years, and particularly following nationwide unrest, there's a renewed interest in the day that celebrates freedom. So what exactly is Juneteenth? And why is it relevant to us as real estate professionals? Well, on June 19, 1865, enslaved Black Americans in Galveston, Texas learned they had been freed 2 years prior. 2 months after Robert E. Lee surrendered and ended the Civil War, and 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, word was received that the slaves had been freed. Reasons for the delay vary, but most history indicates that news was deliberately delayed by wealthy landowners who wanted additional harvest from their slave labor. Additionally, it was kind of easy to withhold information because Texas was one of the farthest slave states and was quite distant from other Confederate slave states. In fact, the Union Army rode into Galveston on a ship, not on horseback like other areas, because access to Texas was difficult, and slaveholders knew that. Although the truth had been hidden from them, and they continued to face threats of continued oppression, violence, and even death, a year after they learned of their freedom, formerly enslaved people resiliently rallied around that date and made the celebration an annual ritual. Celebrations reached new heights in 1872 when a group of Black American ministers and businessmen in Houston purchased 10 acres of land and created Emancipation Park. The space was intended to hold the city's annual Juneteenth celebration. Early Juneteenth observances included a search for lost family members and an opportunity to uplift each other as they moved through hostile environments. The early celebrations often involved readings of the Emancipation Proclamation, religious ceremonies, singing, games, and enjoying foods that enslaved people ate. Initially a uniquely Texan observance, the original celebration became an annual one, and the Juneteenth has now been recognized in some form in every corner of the country, and it doesn't look that much different. Each year around June 19th, Black communities unite for a family reunion of sorts. Juneteenth activities feature the sights and sounds of Blackness, people enjoying art, music, and food that connect them to a shared ancestry and history. Texas declared June 19th an official holiday in 1980, and today, 48 other states and Washington, D.C. have adopted the holiday. Many businesses have moved toward marking it a company holiday, giving employees a day off, including our own. So why is this relevant to us as real estate agents? This holiday persists as a joyous reminder of what Black people have overcome and a solemn remembrance of the lives destroyed by centuries of oppression. Recently, structural racism has been under deep examination in the United States, including in our own organization, which is being addressed by the formation of the Social Equity Task Force initiated by Gary Keller in June of 2020. This year, Juneteenth shouldn't just be a Black holiday. This year, Juneteenth should become a day for all of us to earnestly fill in the gaps of the stories we have not been taught. The more we learn about someone else's story, the more understanding we gain about their perspective. The more we learn about someone else's story, the more compassion we can feel towards them. As discussed in our newest diversity trainings here at Keller Williams, increasing our cultural awareness is an integral part of creating a more diverse business plan, and it helps us serve our clients and our communities better. If you're interested in learning more or attending Juneteenth events, you can Google Juneteenth in your local area to find festivities that you may be able to attend or support. This year, we here at KWRI will gather together as one community to commemorate Juneteenth as one team.